Greetings from Cheating Story Lab. Share your location and let's get started. Today's narrative is about a man, Ryan, who discovered an unlikely friendship emerged from his own marital breakdown. It's ironic to express gratitude towards another woman for ending my marriage, but life has a peculiar sense of humor. This tale recounts the surprising alliance that sprang from my wife's affair. After 12 years, Natalie and I thought we had constructed a stable life together. She worked as a marketing coordinator at a tech firm, while I was an accountant at a mid-sized company. We resided in a suburban home with our golden retriever Buster. Nothing extravagant, but it felt like ours. Signs of trouble were evident, as they often are. The late hours spent at work and seemingly unnecessary business trips became more common. I'm Ryan, and this is the account of how my wife's infidelity resulted in a partnership I would have never envisioned. A growing concern about her looks she attributed to self-confidence enhancement. Her phone, previously carelessly scattered around the house, was now inseparably attached to her, always face down, yet I had faith in her. After 12 years together, I didn't let suspicions jeopardize our bond. That was my rationalization as I observed the gradual disintegration of our marriage from within. The pivotal moment arrived on a Thursday in October. Natalie asserted she was late at work due to a campaign deadline, but a nudge prompted me to drive by her office complex around 9 p.m. The parking lot was deserted except for the security guard's vehicle. Her car was absent. It hadn't been there for hours. That night, I couldn't rest. Upon her return at 11:30, with a scent of cologne that wasn't mine, I became certain. However, knowing and providing evidence are distinct matters, and I was unwilling to destroy our lives based on a suspicion and odd behavior. The truth ultimately surfaced 3 weeks later. Natalie was showering. Her phone was on the nightstand charging. A text message from conference room B flashed, revealing enough of its content on the locked screen. My hands trembled as I attempted to decipher her passcode. Neither her birthday nor our anniversary worked. Then I guessed Buster's birthday and gained access. The messages I discovered demolished 12 years of my life in roughly 30 seconds. Months of explicit exchanges, photos I wished I hadn't seen, plans coordinated around my work schedule, hotel reservations, deceits about her whereabouts and companions. The sender was Derek Morrison. It seemed he had been more than a mere colleague for over 8 months. I snapped screenshots of everything, my heart thundering so loudly I feared it might burst. After placing the phone back where it belonged, I spent the night in our living room, gazing blankly as daybreak approached, struggling to comprehend how my life had abruptly changed. The following morning brought the confrontation. I printed certain messages and left them on the kitchen counter near her coffee mug. As soon as she descended the stairs, still robed, her complexion paled upon sight of them. "Ryan, I can clarify," she began, but I stopped her with a wave of my hand. "Spare me, just don't. I already know. I possess all the evidence. What's left unanswered is what comes next." The ensuing conversation was one of the most agonizing in my life. She wept, apologized, pleaded for forgiveness. She claimed it held no significance, that it was merely physical, that she loved me and desired reconciliation. Yet, a statement she made struck me deeper than any message I'd uncovered. "Derek comprehends me on levels you don't. He makes me feel alive once more." I realized our relationship was finished not due to infidelity or deceit, but because she found something with him that she believed she couldn't find with me. Perhaps we had grown apart unknowingly over time. Instead of discussing this issue with me, instead of attempting to repair our union, she opted to create a new relationship while keeping me as a backup plan. I informed her I wanted a divorce. I informed her I had already consulted a lawyer. I also gave her a week to sort out her living arrangements because I didn't want to cohabit with someone who had been deceiving me for 8 months. She left that weekend, staying with her sister while searching for an apartment. The house felt hollow without her, but it was truthful for the first time in months. Buster seemed perplexed by the alteration, yet dogs are more adaptable than people in such circumstances. The divorce proceedings commenced promptly. I accumulated sufficient proof to create an awkward situation for her, and she was aware of it. Her attorney recommended a swift and fair resolution, which she implemented. Our possessions were divided equally, with her taking her vehicle and personal items, ending the matter. However, the narrative doesn't conclude there. Instead, it becomes intriguing. Approximately 2 Months following Natalie's departure, I received an unknown phone call. The woman on the line identified herself as Claire Morrison, Derek's wife. "I believe we should discuss things," she said, and there was something in her voice that prompted me to agree to a meeting with her later that day at a downtown coffee shop. Claire was not what I anticipated. She appeared to be in her early 40s, sporting uncolored gray hair and eyes that showed signs of enduring this situation longer than I had. She ordered black coffee and got straight to the point without delay. "For about 2 months have you been aware of Derek and your wife?" "Try 2 years for myself." She chuckled, but there was no amusement in it. 2 years. While I was unaware for most of Natalie's affair, Claire had been living with the knowledge that her husband was cheating nearly from the start. Yet unlike me, she did not immediately confront him. Instead, she had been collecting evidence, recording everything, and planning her next move with the patience of someone who has been hurt before. "Derek has done this at least 3 times, she informed me. "Each time I discovered him, he swore it would never happen again, and each time I believed him because we have 2 children, and I thought maintaining the family was more crucial than my pride. However, this time was distinct. This time Claire had decided she was no longer the forgiving wife who cleaned up after her husband's mistakes. "I've been gathering evidence for 18 months, she said, pushing a manila folder across the table. Evidence such as hotel expenses, credit card statements, recovered texts, photos, and surveillance footage from a hotel where they had been meeting revealed the extent of Derek's affair with Natalie. The proof was extensive, surpassing anything I uncovered during my brief detective work. Claire demonstrated meticulousness, thoroughness, and patience, traits indicative of her intelligence and sorrow. "Why are you showing me this?" I asked. "Because Derek is unaware that I am aware of his relationship with your wife specifically," she explained. "He believes I only discovered his past affairs. However, I have been monitoring his current activities and know the precise times and locations where he meets Natalie. I'm aware of their plans, their discussions, even their future together." Hearing about their future left me reeling. Claire nodded somberly in confirmation. "Derek has told Natalie that he will leave you once their divorce is finalized. He pledged to her they'd be an official couple once both were free. He'd been scouting apartments for them to share." The deception ran deep, knowing Natalie wasn't merely having a fleeting romance. She was constructing a life with this man while destroying the life we had built together. But then Claire informed me something that altered everything. "The truth is, Derek has no intention of leaving you. He's assured me he wants to work on our marriage. He's vowed he's ended things with all the other women. He's even proposed renewing our vows as a symbol of our new beginning." I stared at her, struggling to comprehend what she was disclosing. "He's deceiving both of you." "Precisely, and I'm tired of being deceived. But beyond that, I can no longer stand by and watch him inflict pain on others as he has on me. Your wife doesn't deserve the harm he plans to inflict on her, even if she doesn't deserve your forgiveness." Claire suggested a scenario that presented the most intricate ethical dilemma I've encountered. Her intention was to reveal Derek's deceit to both me and Natalie at once, in a manner that would prevent him from further manipulating either of our circumstances. "I propose inviting them both to dinner," she stated. "At my house. Derek believes it will be a romantic evening where I forgive him for everything and start anew. Natalie assumes it's the night Derek will confess about their relationship and request a divorce." The plan was meticulous and devastating. Claire would prepare a special dinner, complete with printed copies of all the evidence she'd amassed over 2 years, detailing every affair, every lie, every promise he made to various women, while also making promises to his wife. She intends for me to arrive during dessert, under the pretext of returning something Derek had left behind after their last encounter. When you present proof of his affair, and I reveal evidence showing he had no intention to leave me, Derek's intricate web of deceit crumbles simultaneously. Natalie discovers that the man she dismantled her marriage for was never planning to be with her. Simultaneously, Derek finds out that both his wife and his mistress's husband are privy to the truth. They all learn that their actions have repercussions they hadn't anticipated. It was malicious. It was premeditated. And it would embarrass them in ways they'd struggle to recover from for years. Having been made to feel powerless, lied to, and undervalued for months, the prospect of regaining control was alluring. I consented to Claire's scheme. The dinner was arranged for a Friday night in December. Claire spent days preparing, cooking Derek's favorite meal, and setting the dining room table with their wedding china. She even purchased wine from the year they were married. 8:30 found me hiding around the corner, waiting for Claire's signal. Upon receiving her text, I approached their house, my hands trembling. The sight through the window revealed Derek and Natalie at the dining table, content and serene, their wine glasses in hand. Claire greeted me with a chilling smile as she opened the door. "Ryan, just in time. Look who dropped by." Derek's expression upon seeing me was priceless, worth all the agony I had endured in recent months. Natalie paled visibly, her wine glass slipping and breaking on the floor. "Claire, what's happening?" Derek asked, but before he could finish, Claire was walking towards the dining table, laden with folders full of evidence. "I believe it's time for an open discussion amongst us all," she stated calmly. 30 minutes of the most uncomfortable truth revelation I have experienced unfolded as Natalie's husband, Derek, was confronted with compelling evidence. Claire meticulously presented her findings, explaining each document, photo, and recorded conversation. Initially, Derek attempted to refute everything, then shifted the blame onto others, but ultimately sat in stunned silence as his world disintegrated. Natalie wept, not out of regret, but from a mixture of humiliation and fury that her future had been based on falsehoods. The sight of the text messages where Derek had sworn to end all affairs and save their marriage, and promised it to Natalie, elicited such malice in her gaze towards him that I almost felt sympathy for his plight. The night concluded with Derek storming out of his own home, Natalie calling her sister for a pickup, and Claire and I left in her kitchen, sharing a bottle of wine and contemplating the events we had just witnessed. "Do you feel any better?" she inquired. "No," I responded truthfully. "Have you?" she responded. For 2 years I had been existing in a state of uncertainty, aware my marriage was founded on deceit, yet lacking the courage to sever it. Tonight, Derek made the decision for me. The subsequent Monday, Claire filed for divorce. Derek attempted reconciliation with both Claire and Natalie, then with his previous affair partner. However, his reputation suffered considerably. Rumors circulated through our workplace, social circles, families. Ultimately, he relocated to another city, but the harm was already inflicted. After that night, Natalie and I never communicated again. Our divorce was finalized 2 months later, and she departed for a new beginning across the country. I learned through mutual acquaintances that she underwent an extended period of therapy, dealing with her own struggles related to commitment and honesty. In time, Claire and I developed an unconventional friendship, not romantic in nature, but two individuals who had weathered the same storm and found a unique bond of understanding. In the darkest phases of my divorce, she offered support, and I reciprocated during her struggles with single parenthood when Derek abandoned his children. Reflecting on our actions, I cannot say whether they were right or wrong, yet they were undeniably harsh and caused pain that transcended Derek and Natalie. However, they also held an unparalleled honesty amidst a complicated situation. Sometimes the truth is ugly, messy, and hurtful to all parties, but it remains the truth. Now, 3 years later, I'm in a relationship with someone who prioritizes honesty over comfort, while Claire has found solace as a single mother in a stable home environment for her children. Derek may be somewhere else, learning from past mistakes, but likely making new ones. Ironically, I find myself thankful that everything unfolded the way it did, not for the pain or betrayal, but for the insight it provided. Through my experiences, I discovered I am stronger than I believed, deserving of more than I was accepting, and that unforeseen alliances can guide me towards self-discovery. Natalie's affair dismantled the life I presumed I desired, yet it also provided the freedom to construct the life I truly required. Claire's retaliation didn't merely expose Derek's deception, it revealed the truth about us all, intricate and confusing as it was. At times, destruction is the sole means to rebuilding. Sometimes one must allow everything to crumble before constructing something superior. That's my narrative. Share your thoughts below on how you dealt with a similar situation. Have you ever faced the same challenge? Don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this.